Hey friends, thanks once again for tuning into the TCS Digital Connect. We hope you're finding our podcast series useful and informative.
Welcome, folks, to a brand new episode of the TCS Digital Connect. Our podcast series has completed 25 episodes, and we can't be more excited. Of course, a big thank you to our students community who've enjoyed our conversations. Now, for the last 25 episodes, we've spoken about tech, we've spoken about domain, health, and wellness. So for our new episode our next leg of the series, we thought why not do a different topic. So today we're going to learn about a specific industry, that is mortgage or home loans, and within the banking and the financial domain. And my guest today is a subject matter expert and has over 15 years of experience in the mortgage transformation, solution architecture, operational delivery, project management, compliance management, and a change agent for technology endeavors. His name is Karthik, and he's responsible for leading the global mortgage practice at TCS and for establishing industry disruptive digital and cognitive solutions for the global mortgage industry. Now, while he does a lot of consulting and a serious stuff, he's actually somebody who's passionate about sustainability, supports multiple nonprofit organizations, and you would also be surprised to know that he loves doing radio jockey as well. So, welcome Karthik on the show.
Hey, thank you, Tanvi. That is a very interesting introduction. I didn't know there were so many things to it. Thank you so much. I did want to tell you, yes, I've been in mortgages for a while. Also, on the radio part, the exciting thing is that I do movie reviews and I critique movies, older ones, new ones, whatever comes your way, things that are on OTT. So that is a fun part to this work-life balance. And I am so excited to talk to all of you today.
Awesome, Karthik. That's good to know. Of course, work life is absolutely important given the current situation and the times that we live in. Let's go straight into our conversation for today. So, for our audience, if you could talk about why mortgage or the home lending industry is quite unique in the larger banking and financial services domain.
Absolutely, Tanvi, thanks. And one could ideally see that, banking, when you talk about it larger as we grow up, is very synonymous with savings. That's the place where you always want to park for a rainy day. And when it comes to home loans or mortgages, the perspective suddenly changes because you are now signing up to the biggest debt of your life. You'll carry this through for 20, 30 years. There is a lot of human emotion, anxiety, insecurities that are in play. And given the sensitivities of the market, customers spend a lot of time shopping, and the processes vary from geography to geography. There are different models, a lot of stakeholders, and all of the governments or local regulatory bodies do a lot to protect the borrower interests, and that too for the right reason. So I would say it is unique because it's not transactional; it's human emotion when it comes to taking a home loan.
That is really interesting to know because you've given a completely different angle to. I mean, if you look at it at a very basic level, a transactional taking, lending and giving, but putting a human emotion to it. Now, across the globe, how large is this particular industry?
Sure. And let me just take perspective. Home lending is an extremely critical sector in valuation of GDP, for example, or owning houses is a critical element. United States, the industry is probably as big as $16 trillion. In India, in a dollar context, it's 150 billion. Again, UK, Australia, these are worth in trillions. It's a sign of growth. Home ownership, the housing sector is important because this is a leading indicator for GDP. When someone says GDP of a country or sector grew, this is a very critical leading indicator. And for example, a sustained decline in housing starts to slow the economy and can push it into recession. And so increases in housing activity triggers a lot of economic growth. So it is a very exciting place and a epicenter of a country's growth.
I really like the perspective that you brought in about how it's actually, like you said, an epicenter of a country's growth. So how these are parallel tracks as the GDP of a country and the mortgage industry per se. Now, given that our audience is a lot of engineers, budding engineers, so to speak, what are some of the technologies leveraged or used in this specific industry?
Absolutely. There is the land of possibility when it comes to mortgages. Though compared to other industries, mortgages has a lot to catch up in its technological maturity and leadership. And over the last couple of years, there has been a massive effort in what you call as trying to make it fully digital mortgages. Multiple levers are being used. AI, ML is the talk of the day. It started a couple of years ago, and everyone's exploring that. Digital impact or digital mortgages starts with the first borrower connect of trying to give them an app or a mobility experience, or trying to fill up a form. APIification is the standard globally. When I meet our business partners across the world, the ecosystem has so much to offer that APIs are your only way to survive and thrive. The industry is moving a lot towards microservices. They're trying to gradually shift from monolithic systems. What is the new hashtag or the new buzzword happens to be blockchain. This entire theme is being experimented, explored. Countries like Sweden, UAE have made some good head start with implementing blockchain in the mortgages. IoT gets very interesting, right from home improvement to telling when you could possibly need a larger home improvement loan. IoT is there. Odd and very surprising that one would realize that drones are now being accepted for insurance claims and could potentially be also used for field verifications. So this is getting to be a new in thing, and that proof of concept is getting experimented at multiple places. Along with that, AR and VR are also getting interesting for people in the early home buying experience. These are a lot of technologies that are getting explored and experimented in the mortgage industry today.
Wow, that was really news to me. Of course, we've heard about application and AI and ML are there everywhere, but drones was something seriously I was surprised to know. But it'll be interesting to see how that works out, and how where that's going to actually take the industry, or how that's going to move the industry forward. Now, moving further into our conversation, you've worked with TCS for a long period and mortgages being your area of expertise. What is TCS's strength in this industry?
The strength is that we are leaders. Everyone can claim leadership, but we are ideally called as the balloon in the parking lot. We are so high from our rest of our peers in the industry. All analysts, advisors, whoever does an assessment tells that. This just doesn't come because of the scale, and the scale isn't too small. We have 12,000 employees and associates spread across multiple aspects within mortgages. It also comes with the decades of operational and technology experience, our digital solutions, our assets, and our leadership in this that is continuously coming through new innovative ideas. And the associates are spread across three aspects in the spectrum of mortgages. Origination is the activity where applicant becomes a borrower, giving them the loan. Then comes active servicing, which actually is the next 20, 30 years, when you pay your EMIs and, it gets apportioned in the books. And the third one is the collections or the default servicing, that if borrowers are unable to pay, the entire process of working with them to make sure payments are received on time. So our depth, breadth, experience, expertise is very vast. Mortgages is unbeatably a very, very strong suite for TCS.
This is again interesting to know that we're covering the length and the breadth of this industry. Given that we are currently in this pandemic situation, and things have, of course, been very different. Different industries are reacting differently. Some while some of them are able to leverage technology, few of them are, now it's the pandemic is forcing them to leverage technology. So, in this given situation, how is TCS doing, or how are we able to support the industry?
Sure, Tanvi, very interesting question. And, as all of you realize, we are a global practice. So, lockdown, multiple phases of, the pandemic affecting countries started somewhere in mid-March. And to not to anyone's surprise, many of our lender clients, business partners didn't know how to react. You were panicking to get everyone into safety. Employees were sent home to work remotely. A lot of capacity constraints started, both on the default side where people were asking for payment breaks because, their income was temporarily affected or permanently affected. A lot of payment relief requests, forbearance requests came in. And then our clients were looking at a lot of reactive adaptation of digital tools. I did host a recent webinar with some industry leaders. It was called as Social Distancing Paves Way for Digital Proximity. That actually meant that many things are not happening as per planned. Today you're not able to have a look at empty properties to shop because of the social distancing. You can't walk into properties. No one can do a physical valuation or an appraisal of your property. When it
Yeah.
comes to finally signing off of documents, you're not able to meet people because of the social distancing. And that forced people into adapting a lot of things digitally and virtually. We took a lead on that. Our ability to predict and respond and react quickly to some of the digital changes really helped. TCS at this point of time, we see some of our clients did come to us for short-term needs to through this panic. We definitely help them, but a lot of them are looking at future state and maturity assessments of where they are and where they should be, because the impact that is going to cause on the mortgage industry is going to be much larger than what this pandemic is going to have as an effect. So we are doing as much as tactical short-term help. We are also doing long-term planning, like accelerated digitization, automation focused superior experience like hyper personalization, or help them with ecosystem innovation. So a lot that's happening in this industry, and every day is a new learning for all of us.
This is again an exciting information. Like I think it's like about not letting an adversity go waste. So I guess the industry as well as TCS has come together to see how we can make sure operations continue on this front. Now, with the current situation, again, what do you foresee as the future for mortgage within TCS? And anything interesting that is coming up?
Absolutely, a lot of interesting things and a lot of excitement. Mortgages where always the action is. Well, if you talk about the future, we want to lead some strategic initiatives with, first of all, what is called as a fully digital mortgages. Tanvi, if one were to walk and talk to a couple of industry leaders, top banks, top non-banking lenders, you will find an inconsistent definition of what digital mortgages is. Our aim is to get a consistent definition, make sure that everyone understands and is calibrated on what would it make to digitize entire mortgages. Now, the key theme and the key point that any of our lenders would want is to have seamless borrower experience, to help their customers succeed, their borrowers succeed. And I think that is something we are really working hard on mutually, TCS as well as our clients, to give the borrowers the best experience when it comes to their lending experience, to have them go with least anxiety, least insecurities, tell them their options, and make sure that at their fingertips they are getting to learn whatever it is, and all the decisions that they take are well thought through. Internally, TCS is focusing a lot on assets, IP based solutions, servicer offerings. There is a lot of focus on the first 50, 60 days or 30 days that it takes to get for a borrower to sign up. But the next 30 years, when the person is giving you their EMIs and monthly installments, how can you enhance that experience? Also, look at non-linear revenues, and we want to spread our focus on across multiple geos in Europe, Australia, and we have focused on multiple geographies where there is a lot of appetite for digitization and innovation in mortgages. And we want to tap into the larger ecosystem with partnerships and alliances. We want to make this place extremely interesting, and we want to be the torchbearers when someone says that mortgage is seeing a big face in digitization and innovation. So TCS is very excited to be a front runner in that industry, be a good partner, be a good advisor to our entire clients who can, at the end of the day, give seamless borrower experience to their own customers. So that's what I had as a perspective.
That is wonderful. I think it is already looking, from whatever you've just said, it's already looking to be a very exciting space, especially on the technology front with IoT, AR, VR, drones, etc., and on the scope that you have as at an industry or a domain level. So I think it's brilliant for especially engineers or students who are going to just start off on their careers. Now, I have one last question, Karthik. You
Sure.
have are from a management background, and you've been working in the IT industry for about 16, 17 years now. So while we also have people who are engineers, and then they sort of move on the management or the business side, but yours is an opposite journey. So if you could throw a little bit of light around that.
It's very interesting, Tanvi. It's like a person trying to learn a new language, right? You want to communicate, and if I'm learning a new language, I'll make an effort. And if I'm surrounded geographically by those people who are speaking that language, I will very quickly learn the keywords. I'll very quickly learn the colloquial language to do it. And this is just a dialect that I'm talking about. And similarly, that's what happens when you're in a fungible sector. It does not matter whether you're from a technology background or management background. Our domain centric approach, our contextual masters, as you call them, once you are surrounded by the periphery or your geography of your domain, you will very soon get to learn the other language of communication. Be it technology, be it business, the passion, the depth of domain that we carry will actually make sure that you are able to cross pollinate your own skill pool. That if you come from an engineering background, you'll very soon understand the domain context, the domain concept, and it takes few years for you to totally shift your skill pool or what your single forte was. And for all that, you realize in few years you would be a leader, you could be a person who's talking to the client from a business context. It's a very passionate and a cohesive work environment, and I would say every day is a new learning chapter. It does not matter if you're from technology, if you're from management. The possibilities are endless. The learnings are exciting, and every day is absolutely fresh, new, and truly exciting. So I
Wow,
don't
Karthik.
go back to remember that I come from a management background. I just forget that skin, unless someone reminds me like you did right now. It's quite interesting.
But this is really great advice. I'm sure if I'm a student right now, irrespective of, especially because we also hire students who are from not just from IT engineering or computer engineering, but we have students who are electrical, mechanical, etc. So I think your message on learning the language and making sure you continue to learn and surround yourself with the relevant people, that makes so much sense. That's really great advice for somebody who's going to just start off on his or her career. Thanks,
Absolutely, Tanvi.
Karthik. I had a lovely time chatting with you, and I'm sure that I'm going to invite you again because going by our conversation, I'm sure our students would want to know more and maybe get into specific depths about certain things. So lovely to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tanvi, and to all the students who are listening. I just wanted to tell you that this isn't a job. This is a career. This is probably the best training ground you're going to have, the best coaching, mentoring ground. You will continuously learn and you will grow a lot. It's going to be an exciting start to the next phase in your careers, and welcome on board. Thank you so much, Tanvi. It was glad and a great experience talking to all of you.
Thank you, friends, for tuning into the TCS Digital Connect. Eager for the next episode? Well, stay safe and stay connected at Campus Commune for more.